Your thoughts have a very powerful effect on the body, and when it comes to IBS, this is especially true. Anxious thinking can directly trigger a flare-up of your gut symptoms. And in this video, you're going to learn how, why, and what to do about it. Now, if you're new here and you've not got your copy of my ultimate guide to IBS flare-ups, covering 5 of the underlying reasons behind your IBS symptoms, then check out the link just down below in the description. Okay, so here's the thing about our thoughts. How you think affects how you feel, and how you feel can trigger your body's fight or flight response, also known as your stress response. And when this happens, your nervous system sets off a very predictable chain of events inside of your body. This includes an increase in your heart rate, it includes an increase in your blood pressure, and an increase in the rate that you breathe. Blood flow is also diverted away from your abdomen and your digestive organs to your legs. And all of these things happen in response to preparing your body to fight for survival. Now, all of this happens because when we think anxious or stressful thoughts, our body reacts to them as if they were a real tangible threat. So when you think to yourself, what if I have a flare up at work today and somebody comes into the bathroom at the same time? Or what if I go to the restaurant and there isn't anything that I can eat? Or I shouldn't have eaten that salad, I'm really going to pay for that later. These are all thoughts which can create strong emotions of anxiety and panic inside of the body. And when it comes to IBS, when you've had negative experience with your gut, it's only natural to think these things. You're basically in threat detection mode. And unless you understand the powerful connection between your thoughts and the impact they can have on your body and your IBS symptoms, you likely won't start putting 2 and 2 together, because it's very often not the event or the situation which is triggering your IBS symptoms, but how you think about that event or situation that determines your reaction to it. In other words, the lunch date that you have with your friends isn't what makes you feel stressed, tense, or anxious and triggers those uncomfortable sensations in your stomach. It's your interpretation or belief about that lunch that triggers those uncomfortable reactions. This power that your thoughts and beliefs have explains why 2 people can have very different reactions to the same event. This is why some people who get stuck in a traffic jam feel furious and restless, while other people just take it in their stride. So am I saying that you just need to think more positively and all of your IBS symptoms will go away? No. Firstly, it's just not realistic. We're all humans, and as humans, we often have negative, unhelpful thoughts, most of which we aren't aware of at times. In fact, we're often more aware of the feeling than the thoughts that might underlie those feelings. So if you're out for lunch with a friend and you start to feel bloated and you start to feel those painful sensations, you may be aware of the feeling of panic and the need to leave and go home. You may be less aware of the thoughts going on inside of your head, such as, I really need to get home, I won't be able to handle my IBS if I stay any longer. And secondly, positive thinking implies that there's a right way and a wrong way to think. And if you take that approach, it's easy to tell yourself how you should think. And when that happens, we start to judge ourselves accordingly. Instead, I like to think about it as having helpful thoughts and unhelpful thoughts. And when it comes to IBS and identifying which of your thoughts are actually not helping, you first need to become aware of them and the comments that you are making to yourself. This is also known as our self-talk. So what is that chatty part of your mind telling you? And what do you notice about how that self-talk is making you feel? This is always the first step that I take my clients through when we work together one-to-one inside of the Calm Gut program, because we can't change what we're not aware of. And during this process of becoming more and more and more aware of these thoughts, many of my clients are surprised to notice how extreme the voice inside of their head is and how automatic many of these thoughts have become. They start to notice that when they wake up in the morning, worrying about their stomach and worrying about whether or not they'll have a bowel movement, that their body tenses up. They have a lot of muscle tension, which affects their ability to go to the toilet. You could say in many cases that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your thoughts and the way in which they're influencing your body and digestive system are really powerful. They also notice that many of their thoughts they have about their IBS and gut symptoms assume the worst is going to happen, or they jump to conclusions. In essence, they realize that they're basically priming their body for a threat that hasn't even happened. Now, the good news about everything I've shared in this video is that you can learn how to tone down these types of extreme thoughts and help change your reactions, which fuel the vicious IBS cycle. And you can learn more about the vicious IBS and stress cycle on the video, which is linked on your screen now. So when it comes to your thoughts and the stress and anxiety that they can create inside of the body, the first step is to become aware of them. This includes the content of those thoughts and the times of day, the external situations and triggers when you notice that these thoughts are particularly extreme. In my experience over the last 4 years working with IBS clients, mornings and around meal times can be particularly triggering for people. Now, once you have a level of awareness, you can then learn to change these unhelpful thought patterns into helpful and more healthier thought patterns, which in turn can change the way that you feel. And because your emotional state influences your IBS symptoms, learning how to identify and change your thought patterns can help improve your IBS symptoms. Now, to help you become more aware of unhelpful thoughts which may be triggering your IBS symptoms, I want to share with you 7 of the most common types of problematic thinking that I see over and over again with IBS in this next video. Being aware of these will really help you to see the patterns in your own thinking. So thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.